morning, good afternoon, good evening, cottagers. Welcome to Riichi's Live2D Debut. At this time, we ask that you turn off all cell phones and pagers, and please refrain from any flash photography during the performance. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please take a moment to locate the exit nearest you. And now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Once upon a time, on a stage far away, a theater troupe performed nightly to enamored crowds. But for one marionette, the pressures of the stage suffocated rather than invigorated. One drama bled into another as the years passed by. Slowly, the demand for puppet theaters dwindled, until finally the troupe found themselves separated and stored away. Spending what felt like an eternity in a dusty box, one marionette found herself blinking away literal cobwebs to stare out at a world much changed from the one she knew. She had been bought by the owners of an antique shop and sat perched in the store window. Soon enough, she found herself being gently lifted from her post and once more packed into a dark, quiet box. This stay away from the world was noticeably shorter, though when she next awoke it was to quiet birdsong and the smell of baked goods wafting through the air. She had been brought to a small, homely cottage on the edge of a vast forest and instantly fell in love with the place. Where once her days had been filled with lights and lines and captive audiences, now the sun became her spotlight. Life was no longer scripted, and her only audience was the local wildlife who would stop by for a moment or two. The world was smaller and yet larger at the same time. And the marionette? Well, it was rather like she finally came alive. Oh, okay. I'm bad at clicking, clearly. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that I can finally move and blink at you and, you know, shuffle, bounce, all those good things. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have so many things to say thank you for. So first of all, Mighty T, welcome to the Jam Fam. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. And Ziansu, welcome so much for the raid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, we also have my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mama, Sinna, is also here as well. Thank you for joining us. And Kyo, thank you so much for all of the gift subs. Welcome to the Jam Fam, everyone. Yay. And thank you so much for the follows to Joe and Hero. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to the cottage. Okay, so I think we should probably get into some slides. Probably, maybe. Let's see. First up, instead of our stage, let's get some stats in here, because I know you all are dying to know about all of my stats. So first up, we've got my name is Riichi. Most people call me Raz for short because Riichi is quite a lot of letters. Yeah, height is average for a marionette. That's what I'm gonna say. I mean, I've only met, you know, a couple other marionettes, I guess, in my troupe, but I was the same size as them. So I feel like average is key, you know? Just, you know, that's just how it is. It's okay. We're not gonna, you know, dial in on that. 2 foot 5 inches. I don't know, Tip. I haven't, you know, puppet measurement's different. Just build diff, okay? My age is 154 years old, but like emotionally, let's say 30s. Let's say emotionally in the 30s. Also, Z, oh my goodness, thank you so much for so many gift subs. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the cottage to so many people and to the Jam Fam. Z is going absolutely nuts. Absolutely wild. My birthday, let's move away, is December 2nd, so a while off, but we'll get there eventually and we'll have a party and it will be great. It'll be amazing. Also, let's see, what's our next slide? Our next one. Also, hello Ava, my beautiful Cinesib. Welcome, welcome. So let's see. Next is the meat and potatoes, right? All the things people want to know. What do I like? What do I not like? So my major likes are rainy autumn days. You know, the kind where like the trees are very dead and they're crisp, but they're wet at the same time. So they kind of still crunch, but they're also extremely slippery. That's my favorite kind of day. Instead of like the peak fall foliage day where you go pumpkin picking, this is the one where you just, you know, traipse around the woods and you're pretty sure that a witch lives in the old cottage that you pass by. A little spooky, a little forlorn, the best kind. Shale is already in rainy autumn. Perfect. I wish I was there. Take me with you. That sounds amazing. I also really like jam. As all of you may notice from our sub badges, we are the Jam Fam, otherwise known as the Cottagecore Army Preserves. So we're big jam fans here. Maybe one day we'll do a jam tier list. I also like wood stoves. I have a wood stove. The cottage is heated via a wood stove, and that's great and terrible at the same time because nothing humbles you quite like trying to make a fire in the morning when your house is cold, and people have been doing it for thousands of years and you're still struggling, but they are joyful when they are lit. So that's where I'm at. Also, clearly, fancy blouses are my thing. Look at these cutouts. Look at these shoulders. Look at them. Beautiful. Amazing. I love fancy blouses. They're the best. They're the most fun thing to wear. Hands down. True, Akava. One of my other citizens, it's true. If we take a trip around the world every 6 months, we could eternally stay in autumn, and hopefully it would rain there all the time. So that would be nice. Oh my goodness, Shale, thank you for coming. Thank you. Let's move on to maybe less fun, the dislikes. Anyone who's ever witnessed me witness a Subnautica stream can attest that I don't like deep water. I don't think people should be in deep water. In fact, I think the average human is slower than the average minnow, and a minnow is like pretty low on the food chain, right? Like we don't belong there. And I'm a puppet. I'm made out of wood. I definitely don't belong in the water. You know what I mean? So deep water, hard pass. No thank you. I also don't like milk of any kind. It doesn't matter if it's dairy milk or oat milk. I just don't like the taste of milk unless it's overpowered by a taste of something else. So milk is also a hard pass. So sorry to anyone who likes milk, but that ain't me. I do like every other kind of dairy though. Cheese, A+. Yogurt, incredible. Cream, fine. All good. No milk though. Yeah, I think if I was transported back to Salem, first of all, I'm an animated puppet. They would have burned me, hands down. Like I wouldn't have made it. But if I was a human and I floated, I would be a witch. So yeah, I think I'm in danger either way in water. So just another reason to stay away, right? Like why go that route? I do like milk with coffee because coffee is very strong, and I also like bubble tea, like boba, milk tea. Fine, we good. We can be friends. But milk by itself, or things that are too milky and don't have a strong enough non-milk taste, we can't be friends. It's not possible. So yeah. So a deep pool filled with milk, peak scary, yes. If there ever was a horror game where you had to swim through milk, I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it at all. It would be horrible. Yeah, Amnesia milk pool scene. If there is milk in Amnesia, we're not going to handle it very well. It's going to be bad. Really bad, in fact. I also hate being overheated. Now, I don't know anyone who does like being overheated, but I super don't like being overheated to the point where I don't really like summer. I know that's, you know, shocking. I think a lot of people are big summer fans, but it's too hot. I'm made of wood, so I can't even really shed my layers well. I don't sweat, so that's pretty bad for cooling down. just gonna say. So, being overheated is a no. That's also why I put the beach on my dislikes. It's a hot place next to deep water, and there's sand. And if you've ever known sand, if you've ever interacted with sand, it gets everywhere. And I have ball joints, you know, like that's how I move. Look at my neck. Like, my neck has a ball joint in it. Imagine sand in your neck. Like, no good. Also, tip, you're about to get unmodded. I'm just letting you know you are on thin ice. You are on very thin ice. Okay. Moving on. Okay, this might seem weird that I just said that I don't like deep water or the beach, and as some of you can see under the games category, Sea of Thieves is there. I don't know why, I don't have an answer for it, but for digital sand and beaches and water, Sea of Thieves does not bother me. It is super fun. If you haven't ever played before, I highly recommend it. Get a crew together, get on a ship. I don't think I've ever laughed as hard as I've laughed being on a boat in Sea of Thieves. In fact, the time that I laughed the most in Sea of Thieves was when our mod Lincoln Tunnel got stuck in the rigging as our ship was sinking, and I laughed so hard I almost threw up. It was one of the funniest things I've ever witnessed. Ever. Yes, we should do a galleon sometime. We should try and get like a 8-man galleon going, like get 2 ships on the same server and load everybody up and go for a sail. That'd be super fun. It'd be rad. I'm not a good pirate, but I'm a weekend pirate, I guess, occasionally. It's very fun. I also, you know, if you've been around these parts ever, you've probably noticed that I really like Mahjong. A lot. Like a lot. And I'm not an amazing Mahjong player, but I am very passionate about Mahjong. I like to think that I'm lucky, which helps a lot with Mahjong. If you're lucky, you do well in Mahjong, generally. So that's definitely something. In fact, we're having a Mahjong collab tomorrow night. It's going to be super fun. So if you've ever wanted to learn to play Mahjong, we're going to be here, and it's going to be great. I also love Dwarf Romantic. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's maybe the coziest game you've ever played. It's a very quiet city builder, and we play it occasionally over here, but it's super fun. No, I'm not going to get all the wins tomorrow night, the Mahjong. We're going to play nice. We're teaching. It's going to be great. You guys are going to get all the wins. I'm going to just build big slow hands and hang out. No mercy. No. Gonna swap to TV, get cozy in bed. Won't be around to chat. Thank you for coming, Mocha. Have a good night. Rest well. Thank you. I also love Harvest Moon. If you've ever met me, you know that Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is one of my favorite games of all time. It's pretty incredible. So I'm on a mission to play through all the games at some point. So we can look forward to that together. We're going to be marrying a lot of people and having a lot of sheep and doing a lot of growing things on this channel. It's going to be great. We're going to have a great time. Let's see. Let me move a little. My hair is, you know, blocking a little bit in the way. Yes, don't worry. We will. Friends in Mineral Town will be there. It's gonna be great. Right? Marrying a lot of people, having a lot of sheep. Like, what could be better? Truly. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that that is the ideal life, in fact. Who wouldn't want that? Truthfully. So, favorite movies? Hands down, The Wind Rises. I'm all about it. It's incredible. I cried. I saw it in Japanese theaters twice. I cried big. A lot of people were a lot quieter about crying than me, but I just couldn't hold it in. I was just so sad. But it was so good and so beautiful. If you haven't seen The Wind Rises, I think it's one of Miyazaki's best works. I highly recommend it. It is sad, though. You have to be ready for tragedy, I guess. Also, yes, pilot, we're bouncing today. We're moving. We made it. Other favorite movie is, you can probably notice a trend. The Girl Who Left Through Time, also sad, very life-affirming, very beautiful movie. I saw it in college, and I studied art history, so kind of a key point to The Girl Who Left Through Time is a painting, and I thought that was really beautiful. It's an incredible movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch it. It's well worth it, I think. And it's got some really beautiful animation as well. I don't like Grave of the Fireflies. That's too sad. There's like a limit that I have on sad, and Grave of the Fireflies crosses the line for me, personally. Also, yes, Now We're Twins, Z. If you just rewatched it today, that's wild. That's crazy. Also, sheep, marriage, and tax evasion, the 3 universal psychological needs. Some people would say so. Some people would say so. And then, okay, yes, we have to get to the next one, which is my other favorite movie. We need a caveat here, is The Village. The Village is ridiculous in a lot of ways, but the aesthetic is peak. It is peak fall movie. It's insane. It's wild. Yes, like the M. Night Shyamalan movie that a lot of people don't like. It has some very questionable lines. The aesthetic is on point. I personally liked the twist. If you thought that you were getting into a horror movie, you're gonna be deeply disappointed, but I like that movie a lot. And I quote really dumb quotes from it all the time, and Errol is... he doesn't want to talk about the Village anymore, but I don't know. Maybe someday we'll do a watch along, because it's one of those that you have to just kind of talk through. It's so ridiculous and terrible and wonderful all at the same time, truly. Also, thank you for being here, Brad. Of course, yes, lurkers are always welcome. Of course, that's how this channel works. We're always happy to have lurkers. And then, obviously, final one, it's not one movie, but The Lord of the Rings is an experience, so had to kind of put it on there. I would watch those movies if they were like 48 hours long. Like, if the extended versions were that long, I would watch all of them. They're incredible. Nothing wrong. Everything's perfect. Yeah, so had to make the list because they're so good, and they were some of my favorite things to watch for like years and years and years. The Wind Rises has kind of topped that list now, but honorable mention goes to that. Let's see what's next. Let me move out of the way a bit more. So, onto shows. I couldn't put movies and shows together in my mind because they're just too different, and it was too hard to just narrow it down to so few. I would love to go to the IRL Hobbit Village. The thing is, I don't like traveling, like, at all. I'm a bad traveler. I like to just hang out at my cottage. I'm a big homebody, but I would make an exception to go to the Hobbit Village if I could. That would be cool. I would like that a lot. I think that'd be fun. So for shows, #1 show, hands down, is Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's also big sad, I guess. So if you don't like big sads, maybe not the best one for you. But I actually like this show more than I like The Wind Rises, which is pretty shocking. It's just beautifully written. It's completed in 2 seasons. It has incredible writing as it ties into Rakugo, just like really cool concept. And the characters are really great. So it's definitely a good one. It is a josei, so if you are a minor, maybe not the time. It deals with some pretty heavy stuff, but it is good. Also, Kids on the Slope. Sakamichi no Apparon is incredible. If you need a cool jazz music anime, Kids on the Slope is great. I like a lot of the characters in there, and the music is hands down so incredible. It's well worth it to watch it just for that. Also, if you need something lighthearted, shockingly, made the list. If you've never seen Flying Witch, it's like the peak cozy anime. It's kind of like if Kiki's Delivery Service was a high school girl in a world of magical realism. It's pretty great. I've never seen Tuesday and Carol, so you might have to, I might have to go watch that and then I will check in with you. But if you think I'd like it, I would definitely watch it. I'm always open to suggestions for shows. I'm always happy to watch, to be honest. I'm a little picky, I guess, but I do, if things are similar to things that I already like, chances are that I will like it. Is probably how I would put it. But Flying Witch is incredible. It takes place in northern Japan, so it has a lot of delightful Tsugaru Ben accents and stuff. It's very funny, and it's very lighthearted. It's nice to just put on and relax to. So nothing, it's slice of life, so nothing really happens. Also, the Mandrake scene is one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in an anime, and it's great in the manga too. It's drawn incredibly, so it's just very funny, and it's a good show to put on and watch any time of year pretty much. It's pretty seasonal. It covers all the bases there. And then finally, this is another weird show. It kind of needs a caveat. I don't know if many of you remember or were around at this point, but in the early 2000s, there was a strange trend of historical reality TV shows. Also, thank you for the follow, Pumpkin Butter. Welcome to the cottage. For some reason, I guess we were just really into watching people in pain. So historical reality TV shows were entirely about taking modern people of that time and then making them live like it was a different era. Frontier House took 3 families and shoved them out into the middle of nowhere in Montana and made them live like it was 1883 for 5 months. And it's hilarious. It's an experience. I watched it as a kid. It has extreme nostalgia for me, but it's also just a very funny show. These people don't do well. They struggle with a lot of things that I think modern people would struggle with today. They did some interesting casting. I think they could have picked some more resilient people, but that's how reality TV works. Also, I do feel pain, emotional pain. I don't know about, I mean, physical pain's weirder, I suppose. I haven't had a limb removed, but I think I would feel that. But emotional, I've had enough emotional damage over the years to confidently say that I could definitely experience that. So I guess the greater way to wound me is by that way, because being made of wood, not having nerve endings, etc. Yeah, Frontier House, peak ridiculousness. If you need something goofy to watch, it's there. But yeah, it's pretty much just a lot of people struggling to complete basic tasks and not being good at communicating. But I watched it as a kid, and it has like a lot of those feelings from when I first watched it come back when I watch it today. As far as musical artists, this one was hard because I'm pretty eclectic. I'll listen to anything. Like, I'll give anything a shot. I usually trend towards more indie folk poppy stuff with a lot of like instrumental classical things, but I put some of my favorite artists on here. So Lola Tone, if you've never listened to Lola Tone, they kind of make the OST for like life's little moments. Just a lot of really beautiful tracks to put on if you're like stressed and you need to relax. They're perfect for that. Great for studying. They're incredible. Gregory and the Hawk, I listen to a lot of their albums in full, which is kind of weird for me. I don't normally do that, but I just love all of their music pretty much. Lots of comfort picks in there. I'm also a big fan of Yorushika. I love them. They have such incredible works. So many favorites in there. If I had to pick, I really love Thought Crime. And I also really love tons of their songs, honestly. Thought Crime is probably number one. It's a bit weird to watch on YouTube because it's a very wide video. But I do love thought crime so much, and that's why I gave up on music is another one. Kind of all of their works though. I don't think there's anything from Yorushika that I don't like, so there's that. Also Tricolor. Tricolor is one of my favorite instrumental groups. They're a Japanese band that specializes in Irish folk music, but they have like really beautiful pieces, and they have a bunch of things that they wrote as well. They have some singing that they do in Japanese that's very folky that goes along with it sometimes, but they have just a very like joyful vibe, so they're nice to just put on when you're like in need of a good feel moment, you know. Hobbies wise, I really like gardening. I make a big garden every year to grow things. Mainly I grow a lot of pumpkins, actually. Pumpkins and tomatoes I'm pretty much swimming in every year, but I'm learning to grow all sorts of stuff. It's just taking time at the cottage to, you know, you plant things and then you decide whether it works or not. So every year we're kind of trying a couple new things and seeing how it works, but I'm also trying to grow flowers. I didn't really do that before, but this year I'd like to grow some cut flowers, so I'd love to share that with you guys. I think it'd be really fun. And if you guys like planting things, I always love to see other people's plants. Kyo sends me her rose bush pictures all the time, young planty, when it's blooming, and I love to see those. So I'm a big fan of gardening. I also like fiber arts. I love sewing and embroidery, and I'm a beginner knitter, but I'd love to learn how to crochet and stuff as well. And I'd also really like to learn how to make bobbin lace. I think that'd be really cool. And tatting, I think, would be awesome as well. So slowly building up my repertoire of grandma crafts so that one day I can be a grandma, just sitting in the cottage with sheep that I shear to make wool and spin it into yarn and knit like socks and stuff. I think that sounds great. Yeah, anyone can learn how to plant. I'm also happy to help with plant advice. I mean, I'm not a horticulturalist, but I have grown a lot of weird plants in the past, so I love doing that. It's super fun. I also love watching sumo, which might sound weird, but it's one of my favorite things. I watch every tournament that comes on. I'm a huge fan of Teruno Fuji, who's the current Yokozuna, the current like top rank. I have so many favorites, Tochinoshin, the Isegahama boys, so I don't think there would be a way for me to legally show sumo, but it would be really cool to do a sumo night and watch with people, because I think that'd be so fun. I don't think I'm big enough to be a sumo wrestler. Also, the strings I think are expressly not allowed, so I think it might not be feasible for me, but it is cool. It's super fun. It's like such a fun sport to watch. The matches are short too, so they go quick. You can kind of watch a highlights video and get pretty much all of it, which is pretty great. Then next, I also have my favorite teas. I like tea a lot. We do tea and tile Tuesdays, which is when we play Mahjong, and it's super fun. So I put down some of my ultimate favorites, but there are obviously more that I like to drink. Also, Haka. I'm glad everything seems on brand, I guess. We've done well. And then like the occasional curveball, right? Like the sumo, I guess. So my favorite tea currently, I guess I'll add that as a caveat, is called Longbourn Wedding Tea. It is a white tea with jasmine silver needles and rosebuds. If you've ever read Pride and Prejudice, the name of the Bennet family home is Longbourn, and it's supposed to be modeled off of what they would have served at Jane's wedding breakfast. So it's like very romantic, it's very nice. It's a very fancy tea. It's made by a very small indie tea company called Bingley's Teas. I'm a big fan of theirs. They do a lot of teas based off of Jane Austen books that are really delightful. So that's my favorite. I think you can drink just about any time of year, hot or cold. I'm also a big Earl Grey fan. Like anytime that I go somewhere that has tea, I'm pretty much ordering Earl Grey most of the time, unless there's something really wild that I haven't had before. Currently, my favorite Earl Grey is called Viennese Earl Grey, and it's like a Darjeeling base. So a bit different, but same vibe as Earl Grey, a little bit lighter. But yeah, if any tea company wants to sponsor me, I wouldn't say no at all, ever. I'd be happy to promote tea. I mean, as long as it's not poisonous or something, you know. We only do nice things here. We're not like an Assassin's Guild, so maybe they could find someone else for a tea that has something toxic in it to feed to your ex that you hate or something. But yeah, so that's my favorite Earl Grey right now. And I'm also, this seems weird, this is going to be the curveball, because I said that I hated milk, and I do hate milk. That still stands. But I like milk oolong, which is a Taiwanese high mountain oolong that tastes like a milk tea. So again, seems odd that I hate milk, but like this tea that kind of tastes milky. But I don't know, it's compelling. Something about it is cool, and it tastes great. And it literally tastes like milk tea without having to put milk in it, which is pretty incredible. That Earl Grey G Fuel is gonna rock when you get perfect. Hit me up. I mean, G Fuel, as long as you've stopped your NFT nonsense. If you make a tea flavor, we can talk. Also, hello, Sika. Welcome in, welcome in. We are not an Assassin's Guild. This is exactly what an Assassin's Guild would say. No comment. Yeah, I mean, look at this crossbar. Like, imagine me trying to sneak into a place. This would be like bouncing off the walls and the ceiling by accident, and I'd be like quietly cursing. Like, y'all watch me play Amnesia. We were not sneaky, you know? Oh my god. Z, another gift sub. Thank you for gifting a sub to Sika. Also, Sika, welcome to the Jam Fam. We don't talk about who controls the crossbar. Let's say that it's someone using a green screen glove and just, you know, keep it cool like that, you know, keep it casual. Just, you know, for the sake of realism, right? Magical realism. That's all. But yeah, we can't disclose who exactly or how. It's a secret. So, thank you for understanding. Okay, so that's all my basic likes and dislikes. Now we're gonna go on. I put some facts down. So, we'll come over here. So these are just random facts that I felt like didn't fit into anywhere. Also, yeah, that is kind of what an Assassin's Guild would say. That's true. But I would like to reiterate that we're not an Assassin's Guild currently. The Jam Fam could become anything. Cottagers can do anything. So I won't speak for all of them, but currently we haven't like organized, if you know what I mean. So there's that. Random facts. First fact, my favorite animal is a porcupine. I love porcupines. If I saw a porcupine in the wild, I would be really, really tempted to touch it. And I wouldn't, because that wouldn't be nice and it would be very scared. But I would think about it. It would be that Call of the Void thing where you like, the temptation is just there. I think if I saw a porcupine in the wild too, I would get really emotional. I've never seen one wild, but they're just so cute. I don't know if you've ever heard the noises that they make, but they make cute noises and they have big orange teeth and they're so spiky, but they look soft at the same time. And I know they're not really soft. They're pretty spiky, but they're great. I love porcupines. So if you ever have pictures of porcupines or videos, you can always send them to me. I'm never gonna say no to a porcupine picture, ever. It doesn't matter what it is. A drawing, I love them. They're my favorite. We also have 2 pets at the cottage. Most of you have met one of them, actually. Her name is Pickles. She is a very fluffy cat. She's pretty loud. I don't know where she is right now. I'm not sure, but she's around. I fed her early because I figured she would come in and yell. But we also have a snake daughter. Her name is Udon. She is a ball python. If you're into ball pythons or snakes in general, she's a morph called a purple passion. So she's kind of lavender colored. So, but she's not very friendly. Udon doesn't really like hanging out. She likes to be on her own. So we generally let her do that. She likes climbing though. She's a big climber. We have a big spooky aquarium tree in her cage, and she loves climbing on that. So maybe we'll get some pictures of her like out and about sometime. She likes Errol though. I will say Errol and Udon are good friends. Udon and I are like in an alliance, but we haven't progressed much past that point. Let's see. Working with needles, small in size and inconspicuous, smart with wild berries and leaves. This isn't a setup for assassins, no way. Yeah, we're gonna keep with the no comment for legal reasons. Yeah, I think that's what I would be advised by a lawyer to say. She's not venomous, but she can break your hand. She's pretty strong. Like, I don't know if you know, but snakes are kind of just a tube of muscle. So they're pretty strong. They can do a lot, even though they're small. And she's, like, not that small. I guess she's, like, a couple feet in length. So I guess she could do some damage. Udon would be an assassin. I don't think she is, because she's locked up. But if she was let out, she could probably do damage, to be honest. And she does have, like, the spite level to do that. But only when she's fed enough. Otherwise, she just kind of sleeps all day. She's pretty quiet. It has to be warm enough for her. But in the summer months, she could cause some havoc for sure. This is sounding more and more like an Assassin's Guild, to be honest. You're right. It's not. Or we can't say that it is. So we'll leave it at that. But you're not wrong. Another Raz fact is I actually once hurt my finger carrying a real gramophone. That's actually a thing that happened to me. I was aiding with the stage performance of a play called Cabaret, and we had to carry a gramophone, and it bit me, I guess, in my joint. You know, joints are not the best place to have a corner of a table dig into, so that happened. But we love gramophones here, even though we were, you know, victimized by one in the past. Other Raz fact is I actually have a collection of antique kimono. I have downsized fairly recently, like in the past couple years, but I do still have a pretty large collection. Many of them are actually from the 1920s and 1930s, so they're pre-war kimono that survived. I love them a lot. I would love to share them with people. I don't get a chance to wear them out very often or use them or display them because they're best kept kind of away from light and moisture and stuff, but they are very beautiful. I've been thinking about piecemealing them off a bit and giving them to friends who would probably wear them more, but I get attached. So currently I have kept almost all of them. There's a couple really nice pieces that I knew I would never wear or ever use, really. They just weren't quite to my taste that I gave away, but I would definitely like to share that with you guys because I love them a lot. And I love Kitsuke, which is the like art of wearing kimono. I think it's super fun and it looks really beautiful. It's hard to do if like when you're first getting started. It's very confusing, but it is cool. Also, I have no talent for singing at all. I'm not tone deaf, like technically, but getting my voice to match up to what I know the notes to be is like nearly impossible for me. But I can play musical instruments. So I played the clarinet for like a very long time. I've also played the fife as well. I played the viola in high school, and I learned piano in high school and in part of college. I haven't played any of these in like a while, but I'd love to get back to it because I do love music. And I have a harp. I'm actually really interested in learning to play a Celtic harp, and I had a friend who gave me one recently, so that's on my list. So yeah, music streams would be cool. I think that'd be really fun. I mean, you'd have to deal with me kind of messing around and not really being great at it, but I think it'd be fun. I do love playing them, and I do miss it. I mean, I could play it anytime. I have a keyboard, like a nice weighted keyboard for piano upstairs, but I just never had the time really to sit down. Also, I would love to do a kimono alt outfit. I've honestly been thinking about doing a New Year's furisode because I don't actually ever get to wear furisode. I'm kind of past the age where furisode is like quote-unquote appropriate. It's meant to be for like younger unmarried women in their 20s, technically. I mean, wear whatever you want, don't let anyone tell you what to do, but they're also quite expensive, and I didn't have any in my collection. Or I have one, but it's meant to be worn with hakama, so a bit different. But I would love to have a New Year's alt outfit that's like over the top and like a big cool kimono situation. Also, yes, I would love to get back to playing more string instruments. We were currently, or like recently I should say, gifted a antique violin that's in need of a lot of help, but I think that would be really cool to learn. I do love, between the two, I love the sound of the viola more than the violin, but it's also in alto clef, which is hard to read. It's hard on my brain, so I think it'd be cool to pick up the violin after it's been kind of refurbished and learn how to play that as well. But yeah, so music streams, maybe in the future. Karaoke, unlikely, unless you don't care about your eardrums, I guess. Because I'm really not good at singing at all. That's not where my talents lie, but who knows? Maybe we'll do music someday in the future. Alright, we're done with the facts. Now we should move on to some goals. So, goals-wise, when we have enough cottagers, I would love to host a virtual country fair, which sounds ridiculous, but it's kind of like in Stardew Valley, where everyone has their little box and you just post all the stuff that you did for the past year, because that's how country fairs work. It's not just that season, it's supposed to be crafts and things that you've accomplished throughout the whole year. So I'd love to see like things you've made, or things you've grown, or your favorite recipes. I think that'd be super fun. I think it'd be cool to share with everyone those kinds of things. So someday we'll have a cottager country fair together, and it'll be great. And I don't know that we'll give out prizes, maybe we will, but it'll be more about like just showing people things that you're interested in and things that you did over the past year. I also want to play through every single Harvest Moon game. I don't take this lightly. I mean every single one, including like going all the way back to the SNES, all the way up through the present. The caveat is only the Harvest Moon games made by the original company, which is marvelous because they had that weird fight with Natsume, where Natsume like took the name Harvest Moon and then copyrighted it or whatever, even though they were just the publisher, and then like made their own games later, which don't think were very good under the name Harvest Moon, so Harvest Moon / Story of Seasons franchise. I'm on the fence about Rune Factory. I only played Rune Factory 1, and I really didn't enjoy it very much, but people seem to really like Rune Factory 5, so I'm open to suggestions if there's better Rune Factories that I should check out as well. But in general, I like more of the farming and romancing your partner thing in Harvest Moon than the fighting bit, I guess. I'd also like to make the cottagers a community of people who appreciate the slow life. So having folks who want to share their handicrafts or their music pieces that they've been working on, or I don't know, just the nice things that they encountered today in the world. Just a cozy place to rest, pretty much. That's my goal, I guess. I think there's enough high octane stuff in the world if you want that. I'd rather the cottage be a place where you can come and just take a load off and maybe work on your anxiety and stuff like that. I also am on a mission to convert as many people as possible to the joys of Riichi Mahjong. So I'm slowly working on that, as this collab that we're going to have tomorrow night will attest to, as 3 more join the void that is Riichi Mahjong. But it's going to be super fun. I would love if one day we could have like a big cottager tournament and we all are just in Discord, because the best part about having the ability to play Mahjong is that it's a super social game. You're meant to be sitting at a table with everyone and like chatting and just goofing off. That's the best version of Mahjong, I think. I can teach anyone the rules for the 100th time. In fact, sometimes I get the rules wrong. Lapis pinged me the other day with a question and I totally forgot how something worked and just parroted back something ridiculous, so we can learn together. It's got a lot of rules, but it's fun. The basics are great. Yeah, the rules are a lot. The key is to not overwhelm. You start with something small and you go from there. Cinna, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Actually, this is well timed. I was just about to get to our credits page of who made this model and this rig, actually. So, yes, hello, mother, which sounds a little Grey Gardens, but we'll ignore it. It's fine. Oh my goodness, Z, thank you for the gift sub to Mama Cinna. Welcome to the Jam Fam, Mama Cinna. So, yes, if you don't know, mods, if we can get a shout out for Cinna, but my model was made and designed, actually, by Mama Cinna. Basically, I came to her with some pretty bare bones situation of like what I wanted, and she made this, which is pretty incredible. Like, maybe someday I'll like show you guys what I sent her, but it was not much, and it was mainly an idea of like vague aesthetic and kind of the hair color-ish or like some color schemes, but she pretty much came up with so many parts of this just entirely on her own and gave me so many options. Also, hello Fortuna, welcome in. I love Cinna's work. As you can tell, she has a really beautiful, like almost like illustration-esque style. It's not what you normally see on a lot of models. It's not like anime crisp. I mean, she can do anime crisp, but I specifically asked her for not anime crisp, and she delivered in the most beautiful way. Like, this model is so soft and looks like it stepped off the pages of a storybook in the best way humanly possible. So yeah, I have her to thank in a big way. She's incredible. When she opens her books back up, I'm gonna be spamming all sorts of notifications because Cinna needs an army of VTuber children because she does such a good job and she puts out beautiful works. Thank you, Fortuna. I'm glad. I'm glad. We're so happy that we're now able to move and blink and do all sorts of funny things. Also, Nightbot, calm down. Oh, I don't know. Nightbot just slapped Mama Sinna. we might need to shut down that. Oh my goodness, Sihu! Can we get a raid shout out for Sihu? Thank you for raiding, Sihu. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Welcome in. Welcome. We're just going through who made my model, which is incredible. I know, poor Sinna. Poor Sinna. How was your stream, Sihu? You were playing The Witcher. Thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. It's so nice to blink and move. Yeah, we've been talking. Don't ask about who's controlling the crossbar. That's a secret. But I'm glad you guys like it. Also, thank you so much for the follow, Gianfar and Sam Guy. Welcome to the cottage. Welcome in. But yeah, so thank you guys for joining us. We're just hanging out, doing an intro. It's called a crossbar, I think. I looked it up, and that's what they said. But I'm not really. I'm just a puppet, you know. I'm not a puppeteer. So there's probably some puppeteer out there like, that's not what it's actually called. But that's what we call it. And Anomalu, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. But yeah. Yes, welcome. Lurkers are welcome. So also, we just got through talking about my beautiful Mama Sinna, who made this model. The rig was actually made by Errol, my mod, and also my husband. So he did a really good job. He's spamming the spit at me right now. I don't know if that's positive or negative, but yeah, it was fun, actually. It's been a really fun process because I actually got to weigh in on stuff about what I liked or what I didn't like, though I'm sure he didn't appreciate the didn't like section as much. He is sweet for doing that. Yeah, I was very thankful that we were able to do that and that he took the time to do it because it's been great. And now that means the rig can evolve later too, if we want to change things or we come up with things. Oh, thank you, Sam Guy. That's so sweet. But yeah, so this is the model and the rig. We should probably do some close-ups, I think. So let me go back to our stage and let me show off some things so we can get in kind of close. Maybe too close. I don't know. We'll find out. So we have this cool crossbar. It floats when I move above me, like a good puppet, right? Closer. Is this too close? I don't know. Maybe. So yeah, we got the cool crossbar. As far as expressions go, so I can actually move my eyebrows, which I'm pretty excited about. I can't move my eyebrows alone because I can't do that in real life. It looks very strange. So that's not gonna work. I also can't wink because I can't really wink in real life. Other people can wink, but that's not a talent that I have. We did try. We gave it a good old college try and it did not look good because as it turns out, the face tracking was like, I don't know what you're doing right now. So yeah, the eyebrows can tilt. Also, when I smile big, you can see I get a little bit of a blush on me. So that's nice. We also have some scarier expressions, I guess. If I'm really angry, I can go cold and look really upset. Or I can look kind of unhinged, like I'm about to pop off, which hopefully never happens, but it could. So there's that. Cold, spooky, angry expression. We'll have to get a little bit closer, but not like an assassin. Not like an assassin though. An assassin wouldn't do this. They wouldn't be so obvious, right? Not an Assassin's Guild. Jam Fam Cottage, not an Assassin's Guild at all. If we get a little closer, it's a bit hard to see with the eyes, but I also have some eye toggles. So we have a nice hard eye if we're really in love with something. We'll probably use this when we meet our husbands and wives in Harvest Moon. We'll just be so excited, like Celia from A Wonderful Life, just the most beautiful woman in the world. We just love her. If we're really excited, we can also have a bit of a sparkle. Amazing, wonderful, incredible. So those are possible. I have to go get food, but I'll be lurking. Oh, thank you so much, Sihu. Thank you for sharing your community. I hope you have a good dinner, I think, probably. I hope your food's good. Either way. Thank you so much for bringing everyone here. We really appreciate it. And then we can also do a shocked expression, which looks a little unhinged, but I guess we all look a little unhinged when shocked, probably. So that one is like this. Oh my god. But I also can't blink when I do it, so it'll be a short on-off kind of thing. I guess if we were really wanting to look unhinged, we could do a double of like this, which looks horrifying. We probably won't do that often. And we could turn them all on at the same time, which is very much a has science gone too far move, in the form of like this. So I don't know. I don't think we'll ever do that, but it's possible that I accidentally turn those on. So that's that. Well, we'll move away from the face a little bit. This is a Say So stream. Please look respectfully as we move farther down. So we have, as you can see, I have a neck joint, as you do. I also have a beautiful gem here with a little ribbon that sways when we move. Yeah, respectfully. If you're not respectful, you will be in trouble. So think about it. Very respectfully. Yeah, we've got shoulder joints as well. My Mama Cinna gave me these beautiful cutouts, so you can kind of see the shoulder joints, which is nice. We also have this nice lace and these really cute buttons that I like a lot on here. And as we move farther down, we've got a little waistband, and I don't know if you can see super well, but there's a bow behind it. We have a nice big bow in the back. But I love this. I actually love this color combination. Cinna, my Mama Cinna actually came up with this, and at first when she pitched it, I was not sure about the mauve, and then the more I looked at it, I was so into it, and I loved it a lot. So I was super into it. And then if we go down farther, you can see my little hand joints, my little finger joints, and my fancy blouse has a cool cuff. Yeah, we're huge mauve fans. Huge mauve fans over here. Insane. As we move down too, there's like these little cutouts in the skirt that you can see. The overskirt they're kind of like eyelets, but you can see the little black skirt underneath, which I love a lot. I thought that was such a cute added design feature. And then if we scroll down, I've got little knees moving, little jointed knees. Just moving around. And then if we get down, I'm a little like, my toes are pointed in a little bit. A little shy, I guess. I don't know what that's called when your toes point in, but I think there's a word for it. But we got some nice kind of almost loafers on. Pigeon-toed. Yeah, Cinna is next level. Cinna is truly next level. It's unreal. But yeah, so we're pigeon-toed. We got some nice utilitarian loafers, so like we can run real fast if we have to. we can do anything, right? Sometimes you just gotta like go fast. Heals are not practical for that. But yeah, Mama has given us quite the gift in the form. Thank you for looking respectfully, friends. That was kind of you. We'll zoom out a little bit so we can actually see each other. But yeah, nothing more important than sensible shoes. That's what I say. That's what I think. Oh, sorrow. I was taking so long on the feet because we were trying to talk about sensible shoes, but I can see how that would maybe give a different impression. Oh, Pickles is coming up past. Would you like to pass, small fluffy daughter? Keep going. Thank you, friend. That was very kind. She came to say hi. She also wanted to check in with everyone, which is kind of her. She's upset that I disabled the pet pick redeem, but I didn't want to have to get up and try and find her. So that's how it is, unfortunately. I gave her a pet and she gave a big yawn in response, so she thanks all of you for your contribution. Yeah, Tip is a big proponent of the pet pick. That's the #1 redeem. I know. It will be. It'll be back. Don't worry. She can't really have treats, unfortunately. She has like such a strict diet. The treats are her quail eggs, which she gets about once a week. So she's usually pretty happy with that. For those of you who are new, I have a very fluffy cat. Her name is Pickles. She's very loud, so sometimes we hear her during the stream. And she just jumped up on the desk to say hi. So normally we have a redeem that you can pay to pass a pet onto Pickles, but alas, we've disabled it for now because she was MIA. I don't even know where she was. Nice try, Sarah. Putting it in italics to look like the redeem. Her treats are her hundreds of dollars of special food every month. True. Feed Pickles the bodies of those who the Assassin's Guild murdered. Yeah, that's pretty sus. I don't know. Then I think we would have to, like, I haven't talked to the lawyer, but I think if we did that, we'd have to make a statement. That's what we'll say. Yeah, we'd have to make a statement. Anyway. Let's see. Where were we? We were talking about our model rig, which is beautiful and amazing. I also wanted to give a shout out to some credits for other people who have contributed to the channel. We do, I'm saying that we have a lawyer. I'm not gonna say that I actually have someone on retainer, but like we could talk to someone if we needed. I don't think the Jam Fam or the Cottagers need to talk to a lawyer ever. We should just be playing cozy games and hanging out here. But if something happened, it's an option. So there's that. All right. Here's some extra credits. Let's move a bit out of the way. So there's a bunch of people who contributed to the stream being incredible. Actually, let me just move to the other side where there's no text to cover. So first of all, the beautiful background music that you might be hearing, both at the beginning of the stream and kind of in the background now, was made by the incredible Xiansu. So if we can get a shout out for Z again, that'd be amazing. It was composed entirely for us, which is so incredible, and I was so happy with it. And Z also finished it like way earlier than I expected. I didn't actually commission the pieces to be done by the time that we had this debut, but there was Z's like finished like days ago, fully done, 3 pieces in full. It was pretty incredible. It's very good music. It's fitting the theme of the cozy cottage like perfectly. It's so nice. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we got to have someone so talented who was free and, you know, able to take our commission and did something so amazing for us. So yeah, I'm super happy about that. I'm very excited. We have some static emotes technically. We have some animated emotes that are in the works, but they are not here yet, unfortunately. But soon we'll unveil those. But our static emotes are made by someone named Short Kimani, and they did an amazing job as well. Yes, thank you, Kyo, for the emotes. So we have Confused Mahjong Lady is a play on Confused Math Lady, and we use her for Mahjong when you're stuck and you don't know what you're doing. But it also is good for if you think something is sus. So yeah, I use that one a lot. We also have a spit, which is supposed to be spitting out tea, but I guess you could be spitting on someone if you really felt strongly. So I use the spit as like a shock. And we also have a cry, because sometimes you just need a good cry. Sometimes sad things happen. Sometimes you're in Mahjong and you deal into someone's massive hand and you lose all your points and you just gotta cry about it. So yeah, I've noticed on the analytics, spit leads by a wide margin most of the time. Apparently spit is everyone's favorite to use. So I use spit a lot. Exactly. Maybe the tea was too hot. Maybe you're shocked by something. Maybe you just don't like someone and you want to spit on them. Though, as a Jam Fam member, as a cottager, we should probably try and be kind, but sometimes people deserve it, so. Oh my god. Just one has to spit more. Oh goodness. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. That's when you use the spit emoji in response to that. Like, oh goodness. We also have these super cute jam themed sub badges by someone called Lunieth Designs. I saw them and they're super cute. They have some jams I've never heard of before. Like, I've never heard of a melon jam or a kiwi jam, but they exist and they're sub badges, so pretty wild. Maybe someday we'll make those. Also, Loco, welcome in. Thanks for joining us in our debut. Also, you may notice we have a lot of mods. Generally that's because not all the mods can make it. They all made time today, which is crazy. But normally there is only going to be like 1 or 2 in chat. Yeah, most of them can't make normal stream times, or can only make like a couple of stream times. So we kind of spread the workout by having so many. So that's that. We also have beautiful emotes by Licia Luri, who did the super cute animation of Raz DJing a gramophone that we use for followers and subs and all that good stuff. So that's been a real joy. That was one of the first things that I wanted to commission because I felt like we needed something fun to happen. And I can't draw. And in addition to not being able to sing, I really can't draw. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kyo. Yeah, see? What a cute alert. And thank you for gifting that sub to Verdant. But yeah, so that's one of my favorite things. You should have seen, I sent well, reference is a strong word, technically, but I sent a stick figure, vaguely showing how I wanted the alert to go, and we got that out of it, which is incredible, because the stick figure was not detailed and looked terrible. So yeah, that's been wild. It's been super fun. And normally we have a cottage overlay that we use from a shop called Hone Atelier. And it's super cute. It's done up in really cute yellows and stuff, and it's got cute curtains. It's a little wide for some games, so we don't do it for games that need kind of a full screen. But it's great for Mahjong, so you can see what everyone's hand is up to, stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of all the other people who contributed in a big way to our streams. So definitely check them out. Everyone is in the About Me section. There's a credits section, and you can check out everybody's links there. So if you're curious, or you really want to commission someone, or you'd like to look at their shop, they're all down in there to check out. So huge thanks to them for making the stream so cute and cozy and wonderful. Anyway, that is all that I had for like the slideshow. We can also take questions if anyone has any burning questions for the puppet before we move to our after party where we're going to be playing Fall Guys. But don't feel like you have to stick around if you don't want to. That's going to be chaotic. I haven't played Fall Guys since it came out, and I wasn't good at it to begin with, so it's going to be a lot of being stuck in the spaghetti and just being kind of ridiculous. But yeah, that's about it. Do you have real human hair? Considering that I was made like 154 years ago, I think so. I don't think that generally they didn't use human hair. I think most puppets were made with human hair back then, because I think most other things like rotted out. So we're gonna go with yes. A little creepy, but yes. What's your favorite part of the puppet? Any old design ideas that got scrapped? Ooh, that's a good question. Favorite part of the puppet is actually, I mean, I like the crossbar a lot, but I also really, really, really like the bow with the gem. I don't know. There's something about it. I just think it was cute. I didn't even think of that as something to include or to even ask for. But Cinna made it, and then the minute that she put it in, I was like, whoa, that's incredible. Also, design ideas that got scrapped. Cinna actually made a beautiful witch outfit that I was very, very, very tempted to be a witch puppet. It was very close. It had a very long gown situation and a huge pointy hat. It was wild. So we might see that in a future like Halloween costume or something, because it was so cool. But I didn't want to be a witch and a puppet at the same time. I thought that would be a lot design wise to handle, so maybe a costume. But yeah, I was sorely tempted to pick that one. I am not ready for the spaghetti because I'm sure someone is going to hold me back and I'm going to be really sad and I'm just going to get bopped over and over in Fall Guys, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Have you heard of Medicine Melancholy from the Toho series? Shockingly, I've never experienced anything Toho, which sounds ridiculous, I think. So I need to check out Toho pretty much because the designs are so compelling, but I've never interacted with Toho at all, so I have to check that out. Also, thank you, Ivorus. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, bow and gem, some of my faves. Hair from my assassin targets. Aka, we're not saying such. It's human hair. Where it comes from doesn't matter. It's on me now. Oh my goodness, Z. Killing it with 34 gift subs so far. Absolutely insane. Z is going wild. Absolutely wild. Thank you for the gift sub to Ivorus. I am doing great, Sika. Thank you for asking. I'm glad to finally be here and being able to move. I have been waiting. Actually, I've been sitting on this model for a while, a long while. And I was so tempted to just break it out. And then I was so close to doing it. And then a couple of cottagers were like, no, we want the slideshow. We want the party. And I said, okay, we can do that. But there were so many times that I wanted to just pop up and be like, hi, I can move now. What's up? So there's that. Also, thank you, Sam Guy. You're so sweet. I'm glad that everyone likes the model, honestly. I mean, there's a sea of VTubers out there. Sometimes it's I have a pretty basic model, I guess. Like, I don't have anything too wild. I don't have anything like that glows or anything too crazy. And my outfit is pretty plain, a little utilitarian, but that's kind of me. So I liked something that was a little bit more toned down and that I might actually wear. I wanted to have something that felt comfortable and not too complicated, because we do cozy streams here, so I felt like an overcomplicated design just like wouldn't make sense if we were just hanging out at home having a tea together. Yeah, the sub animation is one of my favorite things. It's the best. It's so cute, and honestly, okay, I'm gonna spoil this, but one of our upcoming animated emotes is going to be a gramophone like that that's bopping and has music coming out of it. It's gonna be like you use it when you're having a good time. So look forward to that. They didn't make it in time for today, but sometime in the near future. Yeah, a glowing effect would be cool. I would love to like make a glowing effect. Also, Miko, oh my goodness, thank you so much for the gift sub to Crystal Fair. You guys are wilding. Like, this is going crazy. There's been so much love this stream. Honestly, I was like really touched, but I was a little scared at first because so many people were like getting excited for the debut and I thought it was just gonna be a goofy like basic slideshow. Also, Fortuna, thank you so much for the gift sub to Eric. That's so sweet. I'm pretty sure the fact that you're a puppet and have a bunch of nice little pre-details is great. Sometimes it's nice to have things that aren't too crazy. That's what I thought. I thought it would be nice to just, you know, be chill. We're on Tuesdays, we're drinking tea and we're playing Mahjong. And on Thursdays and Fridays, we're normally playing some kind of cozy game. We're currently in the middle of playing Lemon Cake and Cheeky Chooks. So those are kind of our games that we've been working through. And then we like to play Dwarf Romantic pretty often because it's so chilled out. So sometimes if we're feeling really tired or it's been a long week, Dwarf Romantic is kind of the best. But yeah, so I was a little worried because I kind of thought it was going to be a really small debut, and I was happy for it to be a small debut. I kind of almost, I mean, it feels weird to say, but I almost didn't want too many people to come because I was like, I'm just going to be talking about goofy cottager things. But then so many people were getting excited, and I was really touched by that. To have so many people come out and support me, even though we've been streaming for like only a short bit, has been really fun. It's been really nice. Oh my goodness. Errol, babe, thank you for the sub to Flingle. Blessed. There are plenty of crazy Valorant and Apex streamers. It's nice to have something fresh. Honestly, I wish that I had the ability to play Apex. Truly, I was watching, there's a big Apex tournament going on right now, and Toa from Hololive has been like co-streaming it, and it's been wild. She's having so much fun, and it's super fun to watch, even though I know nothing about Apex. The last time I played a shooter was like a long time ago. Like, we're talking like Counter-Strike in college, maybe, or like Battlefield 1942, like ridiculous things. I'm not good at those games either. Like, I don't have a talent for that. But I love watching. I mean, Apex and stuff are crazy. It's just not my kind of game. I would be a mess during it. Glad I got to meet you. You're cool. I hope I can come by often. See you soon. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Sam Guy. I'm glad we got to meet too. I'm so glad that folks from Sihu's community got to come out today. I love watching Sihu's streams. She's incredible, and she has some of the coolest art. I'm always in awe of her art and her streams. Also, oh my goodness, so many love and heart emotes. Thank you. That's so sweet. If you need someone to play Apex with, I'm always down. I'm pretty bad though. Oh my goodness, Fortuna. Thank you for the bits. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, exactly. I think if I played Apex, I would need a hard carry. I don't know. I try These days I don't play a lot of competitive games. I'm retired, I guess we should say. Also, Mighty T, thank you for the gift sub to Loco. Blessed, blessed. The mod love over here. Also, Errol, thank you for the gift sub to Sam Guy. That's so sweet. Yeah, I used to play WoW. Actually, a lot of my mods are people I used to raid with. So, honestly, they usually know me as this kind of Raz. Angry Raz. Raz that will yell at you if you don't do well in raid. But we don't do that here anymore. We're retired. It's better that we don't play games like that. Okay, Sika, perfect. If you run and die, that sounds like we're gonna be a great team together. Yes. Y'all teach me how to play Apex. You have to be ready for me to just die. But I would be down. I would love to play. Yeah. It's like, it would be a mess. But as long as we're cool with the mess, that's fine. We die, we die. That's how I am. You know? It's a big shrug moment. What kind of class in WoW? Okay, okay. You guys aren't ready for this. I started out as a Ret Paladin, so that's a big oof. And then I became an even bigger oof as an Unholy Death Knight. So, WoW's a terrible game, in that Blizzard's a terrible company, so we probably shouldn't promote them. I don't play anymore. I stopped my sub a long time ago, but Blizzard's no good. But I did play a Death Knight, an Unholy Death Knight, and I was a melee DPS leader, and I shouted at people in raid. And now we don't do that, because that's not nice. And also, because sometimes it's best to just leave stuff in the past. You know what I mean? But yeah, most of my mods I raided with, truthfully. So yeah, Mighty T was in my melee group. Errol and Salad Fingers, who I call Loco, were my raid leads. So it's a journey. It's a journey. Oh my goodness, Z. Oh my goodness, Z. Make sure that that you're good. But thank you so much for all the gift subs. Oh my goodness, insane. Z is just going nuts. Z out here, Z made this beautiful background music and now spent like all the money on the commission into this stream. It's wild. That's so many subs. Z is a gem. Oh my goodness. You're the sweetest. That's insane. I know, I don't think I've ever seen a level 5. I mean, I've seen a level 5 hype train, but in like, you know, big streams, you know what I mean? We're just a little stream here. We're just chilling. I wanted to hit level 5 before it ended. That's insane. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Choo choo. Welcome. All aboard. That's crazy. So insane. Anyway, you guys, this has been wild. What a wild time. Well, I don't know if we have any more questions. We could try and get into Fall Guys and see how that loads up on us. I didn't realize, I don't remember if you're allowed to make a name in Fall Guys, but I hadn't been on Fall Guys in a long time, and I realized that it gave me a very strange default name. So I don't remember if that was the case, but it feels weird. I don't know. We'll have to see. So it's a good name, but like I didn't make it up. I can't take credit for it. So let me swap-a-roo over to that. We'll probably make my head. I don't think we need to have... I don't know. It's Fall Guys. Maybe it's best if I do cover most of the screen so you don't see all the awful stuff that I do. Is there an ETA on the official Discord server? So... yeah, there's a couple people who have had secret access to the Discord server because I've had to collab or do stuff with them. I was going to do it when we had 200 cottagers, just so that there were enough people that might join, but we might do it before then if people really want to be in there and have a space to chat and like show off stuff. I do need to format it a bit more because I'm also not good at Discord, but that'll probably be Errol. Errol and me asking Kyo a lot of questions, I think, for it. But soon, I think. It won't be too much longer now. I just didn't want it to be like only 3 people and have them, you know, not really like have any content in there. So, alright, let me see if I can. I'm gonna put us on a little bit of a be right back screen. I'm still gonna talk, I just need to launch the game and stuff. You know how it is. So, let's see. Gotta make sure that I don't lose chat as well, because that would be rough. Okay, so let me just boot up Fall Guys, and I will have to mute the desktop audio so we don't get a terrible effect. If you need someone to hold you back in the spaghetti, I know a guy at Loco. I'm well aware of your penchant for holding people back in the spaghetti. Yeah, I think we'd love to do a Mahjong rules and tips channel. Like, I would love if people could post Mahjong hands and like ask questions if they had games, or also just like for people to find people to play friendlies with when we're not on stream, because Mahjong is more fun together. Oh goodness, Fall Guys music is loud. All right. Let's see. We will quickly go to full screen game, and I don't think we need to be quite this large. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's fine. Okay, we'll see if it loads up. There we go. Yeah, so my name is Juicy Mole 51, which I did not come up with. We don't have a big Raz redeem, but maybe. But yeah, I didn't make this name, so I don't know if everyone just gets gifted the Juicy Mole, you know, name. If we just get weird randomly generated things, but that's what I got. You don't like my costume, Loco? I think it's a nice costume. I liked the mammoth with the tutu. I thought it was nice. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I haven't played this in a long time. This is just the after party. So thanks for coming to the debut. If you want to stick around, you're welcome to witness me in the spaghetti. If you got stuff to do, we totally understand. Probably only gonna go for like 30 minutes or so. Maybe longer, but probably not too long, because there's only so much you can watch in Fall Guys failures. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what we have to do in these. You've never played this game, Sika? It's very funny, but I'm not very good at it. Basically, you're just racing to the finish pretty much the whole time. There's sometimes games, but we're just going. I also have no idea how to grab people. Oh god. Okay, we're doing okay. We are deep in the spaghetti though. We are doing our best. Oh god. Oh no! Oh no! Crushed. Oh, I couldn't see what I was doing there for a second. Whoa, I jumped so far. Yeah, this game it's very chaotic. It's a lot of ridiculousness, truly. Oop, that's not how I meant to go. We did it! I didn't qualify last time I was trying this out. Because I was really struggling, like really bad. Easy qual. I'm not gonna say it was easy. We got big lucky in that shoot. Like somehow we dodged all of those snowballs. That was wild. So, I mean, some of these games are really hard. Yeah, Juicy Mole, we're getting the Juicy Mole luck, I guess. I should have changed the stream to Fall Guys, but I don't know. We're just here. It's fine. We're just chatting about Fall Guys. That's all. Some of these games are really hard, and some of them are not so bad, but I haven't played in so long that they're probably all bad at this point. Next up, big shots. Avoid getting knocked into slime and watch out for those cannons. Oh, we're on a tiny island. This looks bad. I don't know. This is a lot of like camera manipulation. Oh, we were so close. Oh no. Ooh. Okay, so we have to stay on this side. Oh, I got grabbed by that little flower man. I thought we were cool. I thought we were just chilling. Oh, okay. That one is rough. It can last forever. Oh my god. Yeah, luckily someone fell. I like the shark. I wish I had the shark skin. That looks so cool. Right trigger? I know, but like, I don't like grabbing people. I feel like I only grab in retaliation. Like, someone has to grab me first and then I get tilted. And I'm like, we have to grab this guy. We have to do it. It's super fun. We should do a community night for cottagers. Because you can make custom games. It's crazy, but we could make custom games and it would be wild. You just gotta make sure that people don't get too serious because it's not that kind of game. Oh, we have a tail? Oh god. I have to like grab them, right? I think I have to. We started with a tail and we squandered it. Oof. Okay. This man knows. Like, look at how bold he is. He knows that none of us are gonna make it. He's right. We're not gonna make it. He knows. I think fam, I think this is where we go out because I don't see. We have to have a tail by the time the timer runs out, and I don't. Is it? Yeah, it is this. Okay. Ooh. Oof. I thought that man had a tail, but it got stolen from him. This is painful. This is painful even for me, and I'm the one controlling it. I should have realized that I had a tail like way earlier, and then just been like running. Oof, we don't make it. We were not close. I'm never good at that. That's never been a skill of mine, sadly. All right. We can exit because we don't need to watch other people. I mean, we could, but we don't know any of them, so. Look at how happy we are, though. Wild. So amped. Look at that little mammoth. I thought about putting on, so there was an outfit that they gave you at the very beginning. When this game first launched, it was very wild. And they gave you this outfit that was this wolf. I think I can go to it up here. Outfits. It was the wolf. And the thing was, the wolf outfit was free. And so the wolves at the very beginning were like the most likely to grab you and like keep you in the spaghetti and like play real dirty. And they were just not nice. And they generally, like, a lot of times they weren't that good either. It was a lot of lobster in the pot dragging other lobsters that back down into the pot. But now this signifies like people who have played the game for like super long. So at the beginning it was a mark of like the noob, like people who didn't know how to play super well, and you should keep away from them. The little scene wolves, you shouldn't interact with them. But now they're like the elite. Like you could only get it at the beginning, so it means that like they were there in the ground floor. So I thought about putting that on, but then I was like, I don't think I could do it. I feel like I'd have to play totally different to how I'd want to play. So I just kept with my little mammoth. But I have so many weird outfits. Like I played as this like Slurpee thing, this slushy big gulp thing for a while. Because why not, right? Like it looks crazy. It looks so silly. And there's like, I don't know, I played as the pigeon too. I always thought the pigeons were really funny. There's just something compelling about them and their weird little eyes. Like, you see this running at you and it either spells like doom or it's the best thing to happen to you, you know? But I saved up for the mammoth for a while because, like, look at its eye. Like, just, it's so majestic. And I got this tutu and I was like, this feels like it could be in some modern ballet performance. So, yeah. I feel like we should keep the mammoth. Just keep repping it. Alright. I think, yeah, we gotta go back here. And then you do like pigeons. That's true. You're a big pigeon fan. Let me quickly, I'm just gonna swap our category because we're not really chatting, I guess, anymore. We'll just swap it to Fall Guys. I mean, hopefully no one comes out here from the Fall Guys group because they're gonna be disappointed. I don't know if there are any. Let's see. I don't think I have any crow outfits, but like I feel like in the shop sometimes there's things. Oh, there's a candle. We could be a candle. But yeah, there has to be, I feel like if there's pigeons, there probably has to be a crow. But I've never seen one. And there wasn't one when I was first playing. Just the pigeons. The old beam snatcher. Yeah, I don't know what that meant. It made me uncomfortable, so I left the shop quickly. So, we'll get in again. We'll see what we get. Who knows what kind of game we're gonna get in here. Some of them are like super fun. And some of them are like terrible team games. Like there was this egg one at launch. That was not it. You could just get stuck with a team. That was no good. I do like Gate Crashers though. If you've ever seen MXC or Takeshi's Castle, Gate Crashers kind of reminds me of that game where you have to run at the wall and then one of the walls is paper. Except this one, the walls just like go up and down. But you have to just like guess. And so we do our best, but sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you don't. Like that. I don't know if we're gonna qual because this one is not. Oh no! I picked the wrong gate. We're not gonna make it. The thing is, once you qualify, it picks someone randomly to watch. So someone who's qualified is watching this right now. They're like, wow, look at this mammoth. Yeah, we didn't make it. The hubris. I was like, I love Gate Crashers. And it was like, I heard you like this. You're not gonna like it anymore. So then we get yeeted. Juicy Mole 51. It was not in the cards for us. I love nothing more than working with random denizens of the internet. Yeah, the egg game. It's a blast like that. Who wouldn't love that, right? Who wouldn't be super amped to have to work as a team to steal tiny eggs from other teams? What could go wrong? Who would ever think that that could ever go wrong? It goes wrong. Sometimes people just give up and they just sit in your little base and they don't move, and they're so tilted, they're so sad. And you like feel bad for them, but you can't communicate with them. There's no like voice chat. I mean, Fall Guys with voice chat would be bad, honestly. I shudder to think the kinds of things that people would say to each other because the internet is like that. But it would make the team games easier. But there would probably also be a lot of weird flaming, which is strange because everyone's just like shaped like a bean and wearing a goofy costume. Like there's nothing really at stake here, you know? But that's how it is. I wonder, I'm playing the normal main show, but there's like a special like medieval show. I don't know if the medieval stuff can be in here or if it's only in its like special section. I'm not quite sure. This is an old one, but I wasn't usually very good at it. This is, you gotta like, you're on spinny discs, and you gotta pick the ones going the right way. Alright, here we go. Ooh. We lost some time there. This is exactly like Takeshi's Castle, like the head and neck injuries included, actually. Alright, we got through that run pretty smoothly, but I remember this as being kind of chaotic. Oh, nice. We qualled. Slowly making our way. And see now, this is what happens. Like now you just get to watch someone else. And if they're having a really bad time, you like feel bad. This dude looks like he's gonna, well, he didn't. I thought he was gonna qual. I thought we had more time. I see a bean snatcher. Yeah. Yeah. There's some people. There are some characters here. There's some interesting costumes. I don't know. Oh, that was the egg game that it showed. I was so scared. Jump through the holes. to score points. I don't know if we can. I'm not very good at the aimed jumping. I feel like I'm gonna fall a lot on this one. Only 15 people get through. There's 18 of us. We didn't get it. So you have to dive. Oof, the fall is long. Okay, we barely made that. That was close. Oof, uh-oh. Whoa. We start out back. Oh, I guess we have to get enough points? I'm not good at this one at all. There has to be some kind of like, okay, so that was worth the good bit, I think. Oop. We're not doing so hot though. Oof. Yeah, the ice is tricky. I'm really good at platformers, you guys, as you can tell. I've got a real talent for it. We did not make it at all. They were like, we'll only take 13 of you. We could have taken 15, but you were so bad. The classic. That one was weird. That one was goofy. At first I was like, okay, I don't know how many points each one is worth. I couldn't even tell where my points were, actually. I'm sure they were on there somewhere, but I was not cognizant of them. Oh, 2 more. If I hadn't missed a couple of those first ones, we probably would have made it then. Tragic. Alright, we'll play again. See what we get. What's the name of the one that's exactly like Takeshi's Castle, that like one of the doors is paper and the rest are not? Because I like that one. If we could get that one, because I'm kind of lucky. Mahjong sees that. Like sometimes I just get lucky, and that's the best. But any of these ones that need skill, it's not gonna happen. PBS Kids, exactly. The PBS Kids luck kicks in. If you watch PBS Kids, you're just lucky now. I don't make the rules. That's just how it is. So the PBS Kids luck kicks in pretty hard in Fall Guys with the luck-based ones. But anything that requires skill. Ooh, I tried this the other day. I did not get it. Just a hint. All these people you see being mowed down in this image, that was me. That was me the other day. You're gonna see this mammoth just fall a lot. Because this one is tricky. And I don't really know the strat. A lot of these have like a goofy way that you're supposed to do it correctly. You like, there's a path that's easier. But I didn't figure out the path, quite honestly. Oh no, and I'm in the front. Okay, well we got through the first bit, only to get executed. Oh! I got pushed! I was so close! I got... I got robbed! I got robbed! We were so close. I was doing so well. I was dipping, ducking, diving, dodging, and then I got pushed. And we couldn't recover. Oh no, we couldn't make it. I tried. Oh. Okay, only 3 of 28 have qualified. So that's, well, the last time I did this, this was not the hard obstacle. So I guess we'll see. Okay. Okay. That one went okay. Oh, drawbridges. Wow, I've never done that. We had a really good run on the spiky bit. Oh, wait, is that a Kizuna eye? Wait, that is a Kizuna eye. Look, wait. Isn't that is, right? Like, I'm not going crazy? Like, that was a Kizuna eye costume? Like, it was, right? How do we get that? How do we get that? I want that one. That was so funny. It was like, hey, you're a Vtuber. We got another Vtuber over here. You should check her out. She's doing not so great this time. I'm shocked that we made it through. Hoverboard heroes, avoid falling off the hoverboard and reach the finish. Unlikely. Pray it shows up in the shop. Okay, so it can come around. It's not like a limited time, because that's key. Oh, the hoverboard is 1 unit. Okay, I thought we had individual hoverboards, but it turns out no. I don't know. This is a big push people kind of thing. Oh no. Uh-oh. I can like barely, I mean, I have like weird depth perception. I feel like this is where people start pushing, you know what I mean? Oh god, we're like supposed to be dodging all these things. Okay. Ooh. Oh! I fell. I didn't realize there was a gap. That dude is how I feel. I feel you, bro. Do your best, buddy. You got it, little buddy. I got eliminated early. I thought we were at the end. I was like, wow, we're doing great. No. That bean snatcher seems sketch. He's got grabby hands. It was a solid effort. Are they waiting for it to... Oh! He got yeeted. Like... He got hit by everything. That poor man. That's how I feel playing, so I get it. Like, that's me too. That's how that round of gate crashers or whatever went. Like, someone was watching me and they were like, this poor mammoth. This poor mammoth needs aid. First time playing pinball. Yeah. I guess he didn't play enough on, you know, his Windows PC, you know? What was that? There was like a version of pinball. I don't remember what it was called, but I think it came free, right? I don't know. I don't remember it. I mean, I remember the pinball, but I don't remember the name. It wasn't Sonic Pinball. I would have remembered that. And I would have been Sonic themed. I don't think it was Sega. Classic? Maybe. I don't know. It was some sort of, I feel like it had tried to have a fancier name. Tundra Run. Navigate the frosty obstacles and race to the finish line. We'll see. I haven't done so well. Are you the only one who's played that Sonic pinball? Or this? Because maybe to both. Okay, this was the one we did before, I guess. We qualified? Maybe? Yo, is that a little near? Like, what is your name? 2B ahead of me? They really came in here for the weebs, you know? They knew. Oh, we got hit so hard with that. We are kind of deep in the spaghetti. Whoa, this is ice. I didn't realize that. I got yeeted all the way off. I got yeeted down below before. I didn't know that you could go all the way off. Someone is like, this poor mammoth. Wait, the wind took me. Wait, I had no idea. We're not doing so hot this time. We got really good luck. We got some extreme PBS Kids luck last time. Wait, can I just go this way? Is this like the easier baby route? Not baby enough for me. Not enough. Someone had to witness that. Someone watched us and was like, this girl, this mammoth. Tragic. Truly tragic. Alright, we'll try one more round and then I think we might end for the night because we've done a lot. We've done a lot of talking, chatting. It's been fun though. It makes me want to like play this on stream, even though this isn't like super cozy, but it's like just goofy enough that it feels like it would be funny. We'd have to pick a night where we don't mind it being a little chaotic, though. I remember the Whirly gig, not that great at it. It's a lot of windmills, which I'm kind of a Don Quixote on this course, running at windmills. It doesn't end that well. I'm just, you know, here in the spaghetti. Okay, we did that, okay. Ooh, oh, we almost got hard yeeted. Okay, maybe we are getting hard yeeted. Okay. We made it. We were close. I thought we were gonna get thrown totally off course. But it's fine. It's fine. We can recover. We can recover. I think the easiest is to go on the side. Okay, we made that. Oh, look at these people gatekeeping! Excuse me. Like, they're gonna fight people at the edge. Exactly. We don't want spaghetti in this game. It's not a good place to be, generally. It's not the worst place to be, but it's not the best place to be either. Go, little crocodile, go. You can do it. He can do it. He can do it. Oh, I thought that man was gonna fight him. I was so worried. Because that's the most crushing. You make it to the end, you tried really hard, and then someone grabs you, and then neither of you make it. They just decide to go down swinging. It's really a war of attrition kind of thing. Some degenerate being, exactly. Some degenerate being out there gatekeeping. Shameful. This looks like a terrible cross between Frogger and a platformer. And I'm not good at those. I don't know if we can even call them a bean. I think they're all beans. I think. Sub-bean. Instead of subhuman. Goodness. Yeah, that is not very kind to the beans. Okay. Oh. Oh, yeah, you have to jump up. I forgot that. Well, I'm really bad at the jump and grab. So... okay, we survived that. Whoa, okay. I feel like I have to approach this. Okay. We got stuck there. Infinite. Ooh. I don't have good depth perception, I think, here. Have mercy. Ooh, I think there's more of this, so... I don't know if we're gonna... I was gonna say, I mean, we have a very slim chance. we might have to admit defeat. My strengths do not lie in lily pad leaping. Ooh. Okay. Well, we at least made it over that in the end. It took way too long, but we did do it. Alright. Let's see. I like how they just bounce you off. You just get yeeted like a little pachinko ball. We look so happy every time, even though we get eliminated. No lily pads to bounce on at the cottage, is what we'll say. That's what we'll say. They had a jam making minigame, you'd win. Thank you for your vote of confidence, Akka. I think we would do well at the jam making one. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. Yeah, she is. She's doing a collab, I think, of it. I don't know if she says who it's with, but I think it's a collab. There's a bunch of them doing it. Anyway, so we're gonna go visit Kyo. But thank you guys so much for coming out today. We had such a fun time. I'm so excited to use this model. I'm gonna be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we're gonna be playing a beginner Mahjong collab with a bunch of fun folks. Apex ranked stream next? Not quite. But sometime. But yeah, Z and Sika and Miko are all gonna be in it, so it's gonna be super fun. Thank you, Luna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so glad everyone came out and that we got to enjoy everything. And thank you to everyone for all the subs and the bits and our like wild level 5 hype train. We're gonna play Apex sometime. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be great. I hope I don't take all your lunch money. Then I feel like a monster. Let me start this raid for Kyo. This is a bit of a different game than Fall Guys, so just beware for that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening. We're gonna go over and show Kyoko some love and say hello over there. So yeah, really appreciate it. I'm super amped to be able to use this model, and I will see you guys tomorrow for more Mahjong, and then next week we'll be partying out with this model, having a great time. But anyway, hope you guys have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, and I will catch you tomorrow night.